When I initially shot the video, there were a couple of points that I felt that I needed to make a little more clear. The very first one was the motorcycle thing. My primary reason for not wanting my ex to get a motorcycle was his safety. I told you about my stepbrother and him getting in the crash and dying. That's a very real concern with motorcycles. I didn't write the statistics, and I know, so please don't even hit me up in the comments. I know there's a whole lot of people out here who've been riding motorcycles since Christ walked the planet, and they've never had any problems and all that. And great, wonderful. But the reality is, if you do get to an accident, you're likely to get severely injured or dead. And I would rather personally be dead than severely injured and a quadriplegic for the rest of my life. But I'm just thinking out loud, right? But that's what I was primarily concerned about. And two, I said to him, if you intend to go and do something so stupid, and it is stupid in my view, maybe when you're 20 or 25 or 30, but when you're 60, then I don't know. I think it's probably a huge waste of money, and you could be spending money more wisely and certainly spending money on things that are less dangerous. But at any rate, I did tell him, I said, you're old enough and ugly enough to go and do whatever you want. So if that's what you want to do, I can't stop you. But know this, that if you do it, then I'm probably going to file for divorce. That's one of the things that I said. Now, would I have done that? Probably not. But I made it abundantly clear that if he were to get into an accident and wound up being a quadriplegic, don't expect my ass to take care of you. I flat out refuse to. Now, if under normal circumstances you have a heart attack, you break your leg, you have a stroke or whatever, I will do the best that I know how to do to take care of you. But something like this, I'm not. And I already knew that Peter, the one that he wanted to go ride off into the sunset. And I know the visions of sugar plums dancing in his head, right? I know that that's where that whole thing was going, because he had visions of them going on bike rides together and, oh, what fun. And I don't know, we'll join a club or whatever. Great. Okay. Perfect. Wonderful. But again, that person might be a friend, may have been a friend at that point, but I promise you that Peter would not be there wiping the drool from his chin and wiping his shitty ass when he was all messed up. That's just not the way that it goes. Good time, Charlie, right? And so that was the primary concern, his safety, and then those other things are part of it too. I certainly don't want to see anything, or didn't want to see anything happen to him in that way. I don't even want to see anything happen to the sorry son of a bitch now. I want him to live a very long, long life, if you know what I mean. And then the other point regarding his money and loaning Peter some money. Again, it's not something that I would do. I mean, please, I'm not even going to loan somebody that I've known for a long time $500. I've known people at work for, I've been in my current job, since 2010. So for 16 years, I've been at this one location. And I, number one, nobody has asked me to borrow $500. And I would be hard pressed to do it anyway, because I know what happens there. And when you're loaning somebody money and you haven't known them but 3 or 4 weeks, hello, thinking cap, right? So I don't know. According to my ex, Peter paid him back. Okay, that's fine. Again, I don't know whether it was 500 or 5,000. But who knows? I don't know how much it was. Um, I know that I found out probably, I don't know, within the last 2 months of our uh, time together, I found out that, or maybe it was a little bit longer, but no more than 6 months, I found out that he was over 10 grand in credit card debt, which was dismaying to me because, we had both gone through credit issues in our lifetimes. And, we, I, at least I did, I made it a point to say to him, and I was more than willing to be held to account myself. But, you know, hello, we need to be accountable to one another in these situations so that we know, you know, we can kind of keep each other in check. Okay, well, you're spending a little bit more, and I would ask him, how much his credit card was up to, and if he'd gotten it paid. And again, I'm not trying to micromanage anybody. I don't really care, but it's something that would negatively impact me, certainly, if since we were married and all. But anyway, I don't want to rattle. I just wanted to clarify those couple of things. Again, with the money, you're free to do whatever, but I think that if you're loaning larger amounts of money, that you kind of need to make that known to your other half. And because that does potentially affect both of you, not just one. So anyway, okay, I'm not going to rattle anymore. Thanks for listening. Have a wonderful day.